guys, welcome back. So it's been a long time since I've uploaded and I do apologize for that. Life's been a little crazy lately on the last couple of months and everything, but I noticed that a few videos got a ton of likes and actually one of them hit 1,000 views, and that was really exciting. I didn't think anything was going to get to that view count, so thank you so much. I was really excited to see that. So I thought that a fun video to do for a back in it kind of thing would be a Disney opinions video. So I found a fun list of questions for, what's your Disney opinion, what's your opinion on this or that in relation to Disney. So I thought I would pull that up and give you guys what my thoughts are on things. So I do apologize, it's on my phone. So 1 second. Okay. So the first one is more of just a question. So it's the first time you went to Disney World. So the first time I went to a Disney park, I was 4 at the time, and I went with my parents and my sister, obviously. And honestly, I don't remember it very well. I was really little, and I always would say that the only thing I remember is leaving the castle crying. And so that's not exactly the greatest Disney memory to have for your first Disney memory. So that's why I tend to recommend in general, like, waiting a year or two so that kids can remember it more. But the first time I went to Disney World was when I was in 4th grade. I went with my dad and my sister. We went right around Thanksgiving and we did the full week-long trip, and that was a really fun time. So the second question is your favorite park. So I'm going to give answers as much as I can, both in terms of Disney World and Disneyland, because that is, the two main domestic parks. So my favorite park at Disney World is Magic Kingdom. I really like the amount of attractions that's there. I'm a big castle person. I like that side of Disney a lot. Ironically, actually, when I was younger, I liked Epcot more, which tends to be more of a, like, when you get older, you like Epcot more, and when you were younger, you liked Magic Kingdom more, just because of what they offer. I still love Epcot. I still really enjoy World Showcase every time I go. That's one of my favorite things to do. But in terms of, like, a park that I think at this point is really where you can spend 2 to 3 days, you can never have enough time in, is Magic Kingdom. There's so many more rides. There's more entertainment. I just think, it was the peak of Disney. So that's my favorite park at Disney World. I actually liked DCA better, which is Disney's California Adventure, than Disneyland. Now, part of that was I went at a time when Disney World or Disneyland was really crowded the days that we were there, and so that kind of affected it. And when we went to DCA, it was a little bit more calm, and I liked that better. DCA also has Toy Story Mania, and it has Soarin', and I really enjoyed that, and I loved World of Color, which is this nighttime water show that they do over in the area that was called Paradise Pier when I was there, and now is referred to as Pixar Pier. So I really loved DCA when we went, but I know that's going to be like an unpopular opinion because Disneyland was the original one. It's the one that Walt walked in, and so there's a lot of people who feel like it's the best park in all of the world. So, but in my experience, I had a better time at DCA than I did at Disneyland. So, let's see. Favorite land in the Magic Kingdom? So, I would have to say for Magic Kingdom, that's Fantasyland. I really, that's more of the personality that I have, is the fantasy and the princess movies and that kind of stuff. That tends to be more what I'm drawn to. And so that is my favorite land. It's also, at Magic Kingdom, the one that's gotten the most attention recently with New Fantasyland. So there's more to do. There's more, you've got Be Our Guest as a restaurant. You've got Enchanted Tales with Belle. So there's more there to do. So that is part of it too, I think, just on a basic level of there's more to do in that land. But at Disneyland, I actually think I liked Adventureland better. Because I really love the Jungle Cruise. That's one of my favorite rides. I always get a kick out of it. And Disneyland's Fantasyland is much smaller. There's not enough space to, it just feels very crowded and it's really reliant on dark rides. They don't, Magic Kingdom has Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and a few other things that Disneyland doesn't. So I think Magic Kingdom's Fantasyland is better than Disneyland's, and so at Disneyland I really enjoyed Adventureland more. So, let's see, next question. What is the first Disney movie you saw in theaters? So, the first Disney-owned now movie would be Bug's Life. So that was the first movie that I saw in theaters ever, was Bug's Life. So that's Pixar technically, so kind of depends on what you view as Disney. The first classic Disney animated movie I saw in theaters, I think, was actually Lilo and Stitch, if I'm remembering right, because, I saw the Toy Story movies in theaters, but I was a little too young to see any of the Renaissance movies in theaters. My parents didn't take me to those. So I think it's Bug's Life and then Lilo and Stitch, unless I saw Pocahontas in theaters. I can't remember because I would have been like 4 at the time. So that's what I remember as the first one I saw in theaters. What type of Disney item do you collect the most? I always get a pair of ears when I go. So I've got a number of those at this point. I also really like the plushes. So, I've got Simba here. We have a Sven. I tend to collect plushes in general, so I've got a lot of those. Otherwise, those are the 2 main things that I tend to buy on trips. Otherwise, it's Disney clothes. I have a ton of Disney clothes at this point. Like today, I'm wearing a Aristocats shirt that's really cute. I've got dresses and shirts, and I think even skirts. I have a lot of clothes. So that's probably what I collect more than anything else. Which Disney voice character would you like to meet? I'm trying to think of anybody. I mean, Robin Williams would have been awesome. I think anybody would feel that way. I love Disney characters in general, but I can't think of any voice actor that I'd really want to meet. Just because, outside of just general, like, you'd want to meet celebrities. So I don't have a good answer for that one. Most underrated Disney movie. Oh boy. I love Lilo and Stitch, but that's not very underrated. It's not, like, considered a classic, though, and I think that Lilo and Stitch was really just a really great movie. I thought it was a very different story. It was really great for representation in terms of having non-white characters, which is really great and important, but I can't think of... I like a lot of the popular ones. Those are the ones that I tend to be really excited for. Lady and the Tramp I love. But again, that's not super underrated. It's not like the most loved movie in the world, but it's also not super underrated. Saving Mr. Banks is a great movie if you love Disney history at all. So that's the story of how they made the movie of Mary Poppins, and that was a really fun one to watch, and kind of, Tom Hanks did a really great job playing Walt Disney, and so, like, for a Disney historian, I really loved it, and I know it didn't get a ton of positive reception. Also, Tomorrowland. I loved Tomorrowland, which was the live-action movie with George Clooney. Came out 3 or 4 years ago at this point, I think, and I know that one wasn't very popular either, but I left it just, like, blown away. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was really great. I thought it was going to be really popular, and then it kind of didn't perform the way they wanted to, which was too bad. I thought it was really great. So, I found a good answer. Tomorrowland. Favorite Disney hotel. So, I love the Grand Floridian. I think that one's just beautiful. The detail in it's gorgeous. I love the feeling there. So probably for deluxe, I'd say Grand Floridian. For moderates, I loved French Quarter. I've actually stayed there twice. I liked it so much. I think it's just, the detail's beautiful. It's nice and it's small, which is really convenient for a Disney trip. You're not walking 10 miles to get to your hotel room after you've walked 10 miles at the park, which is really nice. But I did love the convenience of Grand Floridian, being right next to Magic Kingdom. We stayed there for part of our honeymoon trip, and it was really wonderful because We went in May, and there were some days when it was really hot out, like crazy hot, and we were able to take a break in the middle of the day, hop on the monorail, go to our hotel, change, go swimming for an hour, and just cool off and relax, and then go back into the park for the rest of the night. And that was so easy at Grand Floridian that was really nice. It is unbelievably expensive, though. The only way we were able to afford it really was because we rented DVC points. So if you want more information about that, leave a comment down below, and I'll do a whole video about renting DVC points and really why you do it and what you can gain from it. So let's see, favorite ride. Let's see. Oh, I don't have a favorite hotel at Disneyland because we only went once, and we stayed at a non-Disney resort, and it was a nice Hilton, but it was just a Hilton. So I haven't stayed at any of the hotels at Disneyland because they're so expensive. We haven't been able to afford it. Favorite ride. So in terms of like more of a thrill ride, I'd say either Flights of Passage or Soarin'. I know I'm kind of cheating. I can't pick between the two. I really can't. They're both so incredible, and they're very similar rides. And I just love both of them. I think they're both really amazing. I love the Jungle Cruise as more of a slow ride, like a dark ride style, or a boat ride. I really love the Jungle Cruise. I think it's hilarious. It's lots of puns. It's very silly, but it's one of my favorites. And I make sure to go every time. So that would be my favorite. I'm trying to think of anything at Disneyland that I really liked that wasn't at Disney World, and I can't think of anything. I mean, there are lots of great rides at Disneyland that aren't at Disney World, but none that I would consider like a favorite that's better than Soarin' or Flights of Passage or Jungle Cruise. And Soarin' and Jungle Cruise are both at Disneyland, so that's part of it. So let's see. Least favorite ride. I hated Space Mountain. I hated it. Lots of people love it. I'm not a huge roller coaster person in general. I do like Big Thunder a lot. And so some of those Disney roller coasters I do better on because they're not quite as extreme as like a Six Flags roller coaster. But I hated Space Mountain. I didn't like that it was in the dark the whole time. I didn't like that I couldn't see anything. I just didn't enjoy it at all. So that's one we haven't done again. My husband and I absolutely did not like the Enchanted Tiki Room, which is, it's a very important part of Disney history because it was the first animatronics. So those are animated robot kind of things. It's called an animatronic. So you see them a lot in Disney rides. Like a lot of the Pirates and the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. One of the more famous ones lately has been on the boat ride for Pandora. The woman that plays the drum, that's an animatronic. I can't think of her name. I never saw the movie. So those are all animatronics. And so Enchanted Tiki Room was the first time that they ever did animatronics. So it's a very important part of Disney history. But I am not a fan of it. It was weird to us. I almost fell asleep in it. Just not a fan. Also, Ellen's Energy Adventure in Epcot. I think I fell asleep on that one too. So that one's gone now. It's turning into Guardians of the Galaxy. And that was when I was perfectly fine with closing because I fell asleep on it. So it just didn't mean anything to me. Let's see. Least favorite ride. Favorite show at the parks. So I'm going to answer this in two parts because I'm not sure if they mean shows in terms of like fireworks or stage shows or a show ride kind of thing. So I love PhilharMagic. So that would be at Magic Kingdom, and it's this 3D or 4D because you get sounds and cells and everything experience, and I love it. I go at least 2 or 3 times every trip. I try to find some excuse like it's gonna rain or whatever to get into it multiple times. It's one of the few things that I distinctly remember from my trip when I was in 4th grade when I went to Disney, so I have a really like strong childhood connection to it. So that's one I absolutely love. That's like a show. I don't have a good thought that I can't think of anything really great at Disneyland. That was a show. They do have this little area right by the castle where they did a Tangled show that was really cute, that I enjoyed, but it wasn't like amazing. In terms of shows, in terms of like Illuminations or Fantasmic or Happily Ever After or any of those kinds of, you know, the parades of fireworks shows, if that's what they mean, I'm not sure. Happily Ever After is the best fireworks I've ever seen. I cried both times I saw it on my honeymoon. It was so wonderful and it's so beautiful, and I loved the projections on the castle, so I thought it was incredible. So that would be my favorite, like, show, if that's what they mean. I'm not sure which version of show they're referring to. Favorite attraction that is no longer at the parks. Trying to think of something, because most of my trips have been in the last 4 or 5 years, so there hasn't been a ton that's closed since I've been going more regularly and know things better. So the closest thing I can actually think of is Club Cool in Epcot is about to close, so that's going to be closed the next time I go, so I don't get to do that again. And then I always really enjoyed, it was fun to, you know, get some free soda, kind of get some flavors from around the world. When we went on our honeymoon, they gave us both a free slushie, which was really sweet and a nice memory. So I have a lot of positive memories of Club Cool, but that's as close as I can get, unfortunately, because, well, maybe fortunately, because that means, like, none of my favorite stuff's closed. But, so there's not anything that I can think of that's closed. I have heard rumors that Living with the Land is going to close, and if that happens, that's going to be my favorite ride that's closed, because I love Living with the Land. It's a nice boat ride. There's some really cool stuff in it. I always enjoy going on it. So if that closes, that's going to be my one ride that I wish they'd bring back. Let's see. Monorail or Ferry? Monorail. It definitely needs an upgrade. It definitely needs some love and attention, but I like the convenience of the monorail. I like how much faster it is. You know, I think it's just a better mode of transportation than the ferry. What I did learn, though, when I went for my honeymoon and we stayed at Grand Floridian for a few days, is if you're staying at the monorail loop, a lot of times it's faster in the morning to take the monorail, and then at night it tends to be, or even in the afternoon, it tends to be better just to take the boat. So that's what we found worked better for us, and part of that's because with Grand Floridian, you're the last stop before you come into Magic Kingdom. So it goes Magic Kingdom, Contemporary, Poly, Grand Floridian, Magic Kingdom. So if you're staying at Grand Floridian, it's really convenient to go on the monorail to Magic Kingdom, but on the boat, on the way back, it goes Magic Kingdom, Grand Floridian, Poly, Magic Kingdom. So then if you're going back, it's more convenient to take the boat back, because then you're the first stop again. So that is really convenient to do it that way for, sorry, my phone's doing a weird thing, in terms of getting to the hotel quicker if you're staying at Grand Floridian. Let's see. Saddest moment in a Disney film. Oh boy. Okay, I'm going to do a Disney and a Pixar because I just can't, I have to pick two. Pixar, the first thing that comes to mind is probably Inside Out, both with Bing Bong and the end when Riley comes home. Bing Bong, I like cried both times, and Riley, I like sob. I absolutely sob every time. There's something about it just hits me. Cry, just bawling. I always get stuck with the fake out deaths. I know that logically it's going to be fine, but I always get they always get me and I always cry. So like they do it in the second Lilo and Stitch movie, they do it in Tangled, they do it in Beauty and the Beast. Those always get me. And then of course you've got Mufasa's death. That's probably a classic one as well. But I'm gonna go with the fake out deaths just because that's what I always cry about. Oh my goodness, my face. There we go. Gotta stop playing with them now. Favorite Disney villain? I'm not a big villain person. It's not quite my personality to love the villains. I'm gonna kind of cheat and say that my favorite is Regina in Once Upon a Time. So if you saw Once Upon a Time, it was a show that Disney put on that was kind of all of Disney characters mixed together. And it was a show on like 7 seasons, I think it was on, and I loved Regina. I loved her arc, but she did go from being the bad guy to being the good guy. So it's kind of a cheating answer on multiple fronts, but that's the best I can do. I'm not a big villain person myself. Favorite Disney princess and prince? I'm a big Belle person, so I've always said that Belle's my favorite princess. I think Cinderella, though, was the movie I watched more as a kid, so little kid version of me would probably have wanted to say Cinderella, picked Belle because she was a brunette. Now I love Belle because she likes reading, and I love Be Our Guest, and just the whole movie I really liked. But in terms of princess, I actually like Flynn Rider better, which has a lot to do with the fact that that's my husband's favorite prince, so he has definitely affected that over time. So that would probably be it. It would probably be Belle and Flynn Rider are my two favorites, now at least. Let's see. If you could live in any world from a Disney film, which one would you choose? Trying to think. Don't know if I want to live in any of them. Probably Lilo and Stitch, because that seems like the safest bet. I don't know. A lot of weird shit goes down. Excuse my language. A lot of weird stuff goes down in Disney movies, so I don't know if I'd want to live in any of them. They don't exactly sound like the safest place to live. So I'm gonna go with Lilo and Stitch because you got aliens, but outside of that, pretty chill. And then maybe I'd get to live in Hawaii, and that would be pretty cool. Hawaii looks amazing. Let's see. If you could say anything to Walt Disney now, what would it be? Oh my goodness. I think Walt Disney would probably be the person I'd want to have, like, the dinner with. You know, that question that you always get of, like, if you could have dinner with any famous person, who would it be? I'd probably pick Walt Disney, because I'd have a billion questions and a billion things to say. I think, like many people, you want to thank him for everything. This is such a major part of so many people's lives, and the reach of it is just incomprehensible, I would think, to him, of how much this has affected so many people's lives and how much joy it brings. I probably have a lot of really random little questions for him, but I think the general thing would be like, thank you, you created this amazing, incredible thing, and probably something to his, about asking him to talk to the board about lowering prices, because it is very expensive these days to go to Disney World, so that would be nice. So that is it for this video. Again, thank you so much to everybody for watching the videos. I really appreciate it. Part of why I stopped making videos was that, it's hard to make them when you see that 10 people have watched this movie or video and 10 people have watched this. It really feels like you're just talking to no one. So to see a few of the videos get to 900 and even 1,000 views means so much to me. Thank you for all the really nice comments on them. I really appreciate them. So let me know what you guys want from these videos. I'd really love to, help you guys plan trips, share information, and all that kind of stuff. So please leave comments down below, and leave comments about like what your answers are, and if you agree with me on things, or if you would totally think something different in terms of like Space Mountain's your favorite ride, or you hate Jungle Cruise. It's always fun to see different people's opinions on Disney. So, with that, I am going to sign off, and I hope everybody has a magical day, and hopefully I'll see you guys all soon. Thanks. Bye.